Hey, Sean, welcome to an evening post. Thank you for clicking on this. Tonight, I wanted to talk about how confining your creativity can often unleash it. And this happened to me. I forgot where I've heard this piece of advice, but I've heard it in several different places from several different people. But it's the concept of when you're given absolute free rein to create anything, it can cause almost a writer's block or creator's block or something like that. That question of like, what would you create if you could create anything, if you had unlimited budget? It's a difficult question. It can be a difficult question to answer. And one of the things that I notice is like, I'll look at my art, I'll look at my stuff and say, I wish I took more photos. I wish I had more photos. And so maybe I'll go somewhere and I'll take photos. I'll go to the park. I'll go here or there and I'll take photos. And my problem is I'm somebody who loves gear and different gear and specialized tools and what these different things can help me create with photography and videography. But the problem is that ends up being this obstacle of saying, well, when I go out, I want to make sure I have my 200 to 600 because I love that lens, but it's a huge lens. I also want, I've got this 20 millimeter lens that I've been loving on my Sony. And then obviously having the 24 to 70 get you that normal zoom range, cover my nifty 50 in there. So there's at least 4 lenses that I want to bring with me. We'll bring a macro too, just to be safe in case there's something really cool I want to see up close. But the problem is it then makes photography this cumbersome thing where I need to pack and own a whole lot of gear, but I've got to bring it with me. And then in the field, I have to change lenses. I have to switch things around. And when I see something that I want to capture, I have to then go back and change my gear so that it is best suited for capturing that thing. And I've noticed that the times when I say, screw it, I'm only taking this one lens with me, I take a lot more photos because I have no choice. I'm confined in my creativity to this one lens. But what it makes me do is sort of reimagine everything through that one lens. And this can translate to your art if you're not a photographer or videographer in any number of ways. But I think that simple one is when I brought my 200 to 600, and that was the only lens. It's this massive lens. I brought it out because I wanted to shoot birds, and there were no birds. But then I started seeing other things in the park that I was walking through that I wanted to take photos of. And it made me rethink how I could shoot it. And I ended up, instead of trying to zoom out to 200, the widest it would be, and take a photo, I ended up wanting to scoot back way further and shoot it at 600. And it was just giving me this totally different type of photo than I was used to seeing because I don't often shoot things in sort of a normal frame at 600 millimeters. And so I started taking pictures that I didn't expect myself to take and that I wouldn't have pictured myself taking before, and I learned from that. And the same thing has happened when I've written scripts, like when I wrote the Marshmallow Project and created that short film. It had the limitation of it had to be in one location. And so that's what helps spark the idea to have this sort of stage play happen where everything would be there rather than a camera in the middle turning back and forth between people, having a camera off to the side showing this stage like a grade school play. And it sparked the idea and then it came to life. And it was really cool to see that. And that would not have occurred in that way if I had absolute free rein to create anything anywhere. So I'm challenging you to this week or the next time you're going to sit down and create some art to limit yourself. If you're a painter, pick 2 colors. You only get 2 colors. What can you create with 2 colors? If you're, I don't know, I'm not going to go through a list, but find some way to limit yourself, to limit what you think you can create, and see how much you can explore within that confine. Because if you're anything like me, you're going to find way more in that small confine than you would walking through just a wide expanse of unlimited creativity. So give it a shot. Thanks for spending a couple minutes with me tonight. Mask on, chin up. I'll see you tomorrow.